The doctor is indeed in today on this beautiful Wellness Wednesday. And I mean, we got the show of shows today, Ricky. I'm telling you, like, this is when I think about all of the things I wish I could tell breast cancer patients at the time that they're diagnosed, right? Because we spend a lot of time talking about, well, what is cancer? And how did it happen? And what are hormone receptors? And what's the treatment? And how do we begin to think about and wrap your mind around a diagnosis? There's so many other facets and so many other questions and so many other things that make life feel more balanced that we can't even get to in my little office visit while we're just trying to wrap our heads around, you know, what's this AC and this red devil business, you know? And so when we find resources for patients and programs that like truly make a difference in people's lives, we got to share it. And so that's what we're doing today.
We are, you know, I always say, you know, there's a whole life attached to that tumor. It's not just a cancer. It's not just, it's a whole life. It's not even a one person's life. It's everybody's life. It's everybody that you're connected to. And so we got to help people with everything they have to deal with. And so we have some phenomenal people here today. So I want to introduce Sue Weldon. Sue, tell us what you do.
Hi there. How are you? Thank you for having me, Ricky. And Dr. Mo, always so good to see you. You know, you're right here in our hometown and we treat your women over at Grandview. So I'm the CEO and founder of Unite for Her. We actually offer integrative therapies, about $2,000 worth of therapies to women newly diagnosed with breast cancer, as well as women living with metastatic disease. And today, you know, we actually get to talk about how we were able to expand on the national level and be able to take what we do for our community here in the Philadelphia, New Jersey area and take that across the nation. And you were so kind enough to, share this platform with us so that we can talk to our women across the nation and getting into our programming. But yeah, so things like acupuncture, oncology massage, fresh organic vegetables delivered to the home, do a nutrition platform that is just incredible and comprehensive, that we have on our team. We offer Reiki and yoga and sexual health counseling, regular counseling, all things that normally are not covered by the standard of care. And we pay for that for our women and follow them for, that full year, and our women living with metastatic disease for as long as they need us for life. It is comprehensive. It's needed. We bridge that gap between the two communities, the medical and the wellness community, and they just do better, right? They do better with this, this support, science and research based, which I know, Dr. Mo, you're all about it. You understand it all too well, and we've treated a lot of your patients. So I thank you for having, us on here today. I brought two of our beautiful wellness ambassadors that are also in our program presently, and I will let them introduce themselves. And Lakia, I'll start with you.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm so excited to be here and to begin to remove the stigma around stage 4. I am a woman who is thriving with metastatic breast cancer. I was diagnosed in November of 2020. So I'm a rookie at this thing called cancer and living. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm also an educator. And Unite for Her, when you Google programs like support systems, first of all, there's 0 that look like me out there, right? But then you come across this message from Sue on Unite from Her, and it's warm, it's welcoming, and it really, to me, it struck a chord that this is a community that I can dig into. It's not just about my cancer, it's about Lakia. Sue really makes it known that you are more than just your diagnosis. And all the programming that is put together, to me, I was astonished. Like, you're gonna spend $2,000 on me? You don't even know me. You don't know my story. You didn't even ask me for any documentation that my disease is real. Okay, so we're gonna go on the strength of you believe me, and I'm trusting you that we're gonna have a mutually beneficial relationship. And it became so much more than that, where, Sue was like, listen, can you help tell the story? Because, some people think it's a load of malarkey, but it's not. It really is a comprehensive program that treats the whole woman from head to toe, not just the parts where cancer kind of set up shop. So I'm very grateful to Sue and her team of
Talented.
They all have big, they're talented, but they're full of love and caring. And I'm grateful to lend my voice to this cause around metastatic breast cancer, but also be an ambassador for Unite for Her, because it is about her. It's about Lakia, it's about Sue, it's about all the other women out there. And really, I'm really passionate about the cause. Now she wants to reach out to African-American women because we don't talk about it enough, right? It's something that we can do on our own. No, you can't. You need people like Sue, you need people like Dr. Mo, and you need a community that supports you. So what better avenue to do it by with Sue and her crew? And they go hard for all of us. Wow. And I love it.
I love it. Yeah. Lakia, what kind of breast cancer do you have and how old are you?
The kind that won't quit. The kind that won't quit, Ricky. But listen, we're not gonna lull in that part. No, we're not gonna talk about that. But I have estrogen and progesterone positive, HER2 negative, metastatic breast cancer. But that's just a sliver of who I am.
And how old are you? You're such a baby.
Oh, listen, I am a baby. I'm 39, gonna be 40. December coming up. But listen, I look good.
You look good, girl. You look good, girl.
Yes, you do.
You look good, girl. You don't look, This is what metastatic cancer looks like. You know, you're making it happen, girl, for a lot of women.
That's what it should look like. Absolutely.
Looks like life. It looks like vitality. Looks like purpose. Looks like
it looks like love.
Fire. Yes.
Listen, I'm well loved and not ashamed to say it.
Gorgeous, baby.
Yeah. Don't rain on my parade. Don't rain on your parade.
No, ma'am. We're not having that over here.
No, not over here. Not on our show. Not on our watch, right, Mo?
Never.
We actually, you know, your voice is just so beautiful and so spirited. And we have 300 women that we're treating right now living with metastatic disease, and they are all thriving and feeling this, you know, love and support. And I just love that you're here today to share your story, Lakia. Thank you.
Love you, Sue.
Yeah.
Yeah, love you.
And Christy, I'm going to let you go next. Christy, our Paradise Poet.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for having me. So many of the things that Lakia touched on that touched me, and I'll just jump in from where she left off. I like to tell everybody who will listen, I had cancer. Cancer does not have me. So when I see Lakia and when I go into the doctor's office or when I went to get fitted for the beautiful dress for the fashion show, you know, I kept getting the question of, are you in remission? And I'm like, why are people asking me this? But looking at Lakia, looking at Sue, looking at some of the women that take part in Unite for Her, I'm realizing that we don't look like cancer, whatever that may be. And I'm like, you know, I'm thriving. Again, I say cancer, I had cancer, cancer does not have me. So at 40, I'm 42 now, I was diagnosed with non-invasive DCIS, grade 3, which is fast moving, ER and PR positive. Okay, yeah. I almost lost you there.
You're with us.
You're still here. Keep going.
My church was about to say the devil is a liar. That's not happening.
We're here.
We're here. You're here. We got you.
Yes. So that's ER positive, stage 0, I believe she told me, which was difficult for me to wrap my head around. 1, cancer does not run in my family. 2, I just couldn't get past the stage 0. Not that I wanted it to be higher, but I don't understand if it's 0, why is it considered cancer, right? So I went through all of that. In January 8th of 2020, I had a lumpectomy. I received 6.5 weeks of radiation, 5 years, a pill a day of tamoxifen, still doing that, in addition to being told that I would not be able to have any more children. I am a single mom of an awesome, almost 10 going on 20-year-old little boy, right? So instead of giving him a sibling, we talk about getting him a dog, right? So with that, in the middle of my radiation treatments, the world shut down. Pandemic hit, COVID decided it was going to come here and do what it does and still doing. But like I say to everybody, cancer does not care about COVID, and COVID surely does not care about cancer.
No.
So, you know, we had to mask up, put our gloves on, and show up because we still have treatment. And in the middle of that, with virtual teaching, which I'm sure Lakia is familiar with because I believe she has 2 little ones. I only have 1. And then beginning to work remotely, I have what they consider Mercedes-Benz insurance, right? I've been with my employer, the NJA, for 23 years. But even with this, I still didn't have what I needed. I didn't have the answers. I didn't have the resources. I didn't have the counseling. I didn't have people reaching out saying, how can I be of assistance? Oh, they were sending me bills, half of them that was not covered, right? And then I found myself in a dark place, wondering, like, what am I gonna do? Now that I've had my surgery, now that I'm going through radiation, what are my next steps? My body began to change because of the surgery, the radiation treatments, and I didn't understand if it was a part of it or not. But I do know that I was in a dark place. So I did what I know to do, which is to pray. And I prayed and I cried and I prayed and I cried. And no lie, 24 hours later, I will tell the world this, 24 hours later, Unite for Her called me. I believe it was Michelle. And she said, Christy, we were given your name. And I wasn't going to answer her because, you know, I don't answer phone calls that I don't know who it is. Right. And I say, answer the call because, I mean, she was so sweet. And she said, we were given your name and we want to help you. And we have this care package. And in this care package is this, it's everything that I took part in. It's cream. Oh, I needed the cream because as my breast surgeon would say, we cooked you real good, right? So that's the radiation. And I need some cream to soothe that. There was cream inside the care package. There was a beautiful mask that I still have at the door. There was my passport, right? Passport. I called Erin, who went through my kitchen virtually.
Yes.
Yes. She was like, you know, my son who likes snacks, I'm like, we got to eat better. So me and my son, she said, you could do this, you can try this. And my son was like, and I'm going to tell you if mommy eats ice cream. And she said, yes, right? I took part in the shopping. I had the CSA where they delivered the vegetables to me Wednesday. My son would run out and say, the cancer people, they send you another box, mommy. Right? I took part in the Harvest Fest. I had the Sunbasket deliveries of food that I just literally had to prep that helped me through the virtual schooling and working remote, that I literally had to just, you know, jazz it up a little bit with the ingredients they gave me to do that. So I say all of that is that I did not know there was an organization that was available to me that would provide me with a plethora of resources that half of them I didn't even know that I needed.
Existed. Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know it's available. And for them to say, this is like I was taking pictures, and Sue, I apologize because I never sent you the pictures. I took so many pictures, right, of the baskets. They sent me things to put underneath eye patches. I have pictures of that. But it has been an absolute blessing. And it's not just the care package. Unite for Her shows up for me on a daily. They're like my support system. And no exaggeration, I will never lie about it. No matter what I go through, Unite for Her has been here as my family, as my support system. Right before we jumped on, I got another email from Unite for Her. We want to offer you. And I'm like, yes, no problem. So I cannot thank you enough, because I don't know if I would have made it without Unite for Her and the resources and the love and the support. So from the bottom of my heart, I will shout it from rooftops. Thank you.
We could just end the show. Just end it.
Wow, yes. You said it all. Wow.
Doors of the church are open.
I know.
Yes. Those come forward. Those come forward.
Yes.
So Christy, let me just jump in here because the doctor part of me, the doctor hat here, the white coat, my heart is breaking a little bit when I hear patients say things like, nobody told me and I didn't understand. And the part of the goal of this show is for us to offer education to people so that they can understand things like stage 0. So I'll give you my food analogies because I use food for everything, because people know food. If I say 1 centimeter, you're like, what's that? If I say a small salad crouton, like when you go to the market, buy a bag of salad, the little crouton, not the nice, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, the little, what that size is, right? When I say a jelly bean or a blueberry versus a popcorn kernel, right? You get it. So when you think about things like DCIS, the ductal carcinoma in situ, like situation, like the situation or the place where it started, the easiest way to think about it is this. It's that cells become abnormal in that duct. It's like a paper towel roll lined with bubble wrap on the inside. Okay, that's a milk duct. The cells, the bubble wrap becomes abnormal. It fills up the duct and it travels along that tube. And every few centimeters or inches or, every few stops, it'll clump up again. And it can sort of travel down the duct and it'll clump up again like a string of pearls. And here's the food analogy is that it's like a can of crescent rolls. You know how when you make Pillsbury dough and you pop the can and the dough pops out, that's invasive breast cancer. That's the stage 1 because it's now breaking out and invading the stuff around it. And so the reason they call it 0 is because it's still stuck in the duct, like that dough, like, like those Pillsbury biscuits. And so we like to try to get it before it breaks out. But the reason why even something like DCIS can become metastatic is because it skips right along those ducts in different places and it can kind of skip around, and that's how it can evade us and how it can break out of the duct and then go and travel other places, And so I love that we're having a conversation about the things we didn't quite know, all these resources you never knew that you needed and programs that you never knew were available. So my question for you, Sue, is how do you get your referrals? Because clearly doctors aren't really talking about programs like Unite for Her, at least not, if we're not talking to people about their stage 0 cancer, we're not talking about, creams for radiation and acupuncture and produce.
Yeah. Well, we do have an incredible network here in the Philadelphia area. We do partner with our hospitals and our nurse navigators and our oncologists, our social workers. We partner with you. You just told me before when you got on, you're like, I told 3 more people about Unite for Her. Like when you are our voice, it matters, right? Because then they're going to listen to that and they're going to say, okay, Dr. Mo wants me to do this integrative therapy. It's going to help me with my side effects and symptoms. I'm definitely going to do it. So for us, our hospital partners are key. They help us recruit our women. So they know the pulse of the patients. They know the ones that they feel are definitely in need. They would, take part. And that's how we recruit in this area. Now that we have gone national, which we just did our announcement last week. We actually did that on my 17-year out anniversary, which was really special, for me, that we can take this program that we had to change, right, and reinvent during COVID. We can take it anywhere. And that's where now the recruiting, we're partnering with 3 hospitals. And then with you, Ricky, and Touch BBCA and this podcast to get the word out so that we can now recruit 100 women for our national metastatic breast cancer conference. That's June the 13th. We have relationships with Weill Cornell. That's a new partner of ours. Queens, Brooklyn, Manhattan. That's doing recruiting for us. We have a relationship with West Cancer Center, and they're going to be doing recruiting for us. And then Ricky was kind enough when she heard about our program, it was like, definitely going to do the show. I have a great community of women. Let's share that story. And we want to welcome your community in. And it's for women living with metastatic disease, the one that's on June the 13th. I know, Ricky, you have a flyer that you've been promoting, which we're so grateful for. But there's a variety of ways, and Dr. Mel, our women, they talk about us. They tell their friends, because we're in this community, we're in this sisterhood now. And that word of mouth, we must get about 200 to 300 women that just come to us, that because they heard from their friend, their loved one, their church, their community about Unite for Her. Women like Christy and Lakia and 1,800 that we diagnose and treat a year, they shout it from the rooftops, because it is such a support system that is no charge, fully funded, and we're right there for them. So we're a fundraising machine, but we're doing it, and it's impactful. It just makes such a huge difference. Body, mind, and spirit, which I know the first day I met you, I remember being in that conference room, Dr. Mo, and you were like, I am all about the integrative therapy. You really connected with that. You understood that relationship with the patient. If they're not emotionally well, they're not physically well, and our doctors our doctors are treating the cancer, and what strides we have taken. Like we are just in awe of our medical community and the strides that you've taken. It's so different than when I was diagnosed, back 17 years ago. There was no oncotype testing, and ductal carcinoma is what I had, invasive ductal carcinoma, and 5 centimeter lump, and bilateral mastectomy, 6 months of chemotherapy. Now it's so targeted, right? Everything is so targeted on that cell genetic makeup of that tumor that it's just incredible. Unite for Her treats the woman. You treat the cancer, we treat the woman. And together, it's just such a beautiful relationship. Like we are in all of our hospital partners. We're grateful for them, and those nurse navigators and the social workers that help us with recruiting. So
I think, Sue, one of the good things that you guys do too is that you get it. Like I wondered, how do you pick the services that you offer? And it's because you're a breastie. So you get what we need, and you can see what's going to help us because you've experienced it. So I think that's also, I think the other thing that people, I don't know if they heard, is that you do this for life. So once you're in the program, it's for life. It's like
for
the vegetables, will still coming, right?
If you're metastatic, yes.
If you're
for our
metastatic
community only.
But still, you get, every Wednesday you'll still get those vegetables, which is an amazing gift, a precious gift.
Well, I think the other part is, I'm sorry, Dr. Mo. I think the other part is that, the passport gives you options, right? It's not just this is what you have, this is what we're going to provide, and you take it or you leave it. It's here's your menu of services that you pick what's best for you. Like me, I'm a foodie, right? I love to cook. I love to get down in the kitchen, but I also knew that I had to feed my body in a way that would help me continue to fight. Like I couldn't do the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, and still think that I was going to have the energy to take the medication and to do what needs to be done in order for me to stay healthy. So to be able to talk to Erin and look at ways that you can reinvent those lovely meals, but in a healthier form. Or let me introduce you to a lentil versus a regular grain of rice. Let's have these conversations where you can still feed your family and still feed them nutritious and delicious. And for me, it's food from the heart, but let's do it in a healthier way where you're not feeling heavy, where you're not, one of the side effects for me, is, I spend a lot of time in the bathroom because the food goes in my cancer and the medication pushes it out. But what I eat will determine how violently it exits, or are we just going to have a smooth sail and I'm just going to be there for a little while. And these are the things that you're able to have conversations with a team that's knowledgeable. They're not just throwing things at you because they picked up a book. They're testing it out. I was watching Erin in her kitchen. She was cooking up something. I said, I need to try that. But it was a different experience. It wasn't just, here, Lakia, you take this and we'll see you later. It was, try this out. Let me know how it works. And then if it does, let's fill up your pantry and your refrigerator with a gift card to your local grocery store so you can go then replenish what you've just learned. And to have the skills and then the means, to me, says a lot. Because healthy food, I will tell you, costs real money. You can go to McDonald's and spend $5 and you're full, but the garbage, no knock to McDonald's, but y'all get what I'm saying. But what you're putting in your body has direct reflection on how you're able to fight. And for me, that is like, that's A1. That's how, my husband and I kind of work through this. So the whole family got an overhaul of food. They don't even know it, because I was learning how to do it with such, one, with grace, and two, with flavor. And soul food
what it's
is
about.
real.
Absolutely.
But in a healthier way. You know what I mean? So
So our women get to pick and choose, right, what's on that passport and how they use it. And then there's a limited amount of squares that they can choose for 6 months. So that's how we keep our budget, because, clearly you have to budget for it. So that once they pick and choose those and they utilize them, some might use counseling, some might use the vegetables, some might use Erin and Michelle, who are just dynamic nutrition team on staff. And then once they use that, then, if it's within 6 months, they have to wait, and then the next 6 months we'll renew it. But there's this, this cadence to it so that we can continue to afford the program for the women. Yeah.
I think one of the benefits also is that it exposes people to different modalities that they might not necessarily have thought about. So, you might pick the same things on your passport over and over and over again because it's what you know. But if you've got a limited amount of exposure to something, and they say, okay, well, you can order 3 of these, but now we've got to, you got to choose from a different menu here. And it forces you to expand your horizons. It forces you to think about, really what your body and what your mind, what your spirit need beyond what you think it does. And that to me is actually really very valuable, because in some communities, there isn't a lot of education about things like acupuncture, or about meditation and yoga, and lots of different resources, even sexual dysfunction. A lot of households and a lot of communities, sex is a bad word, and you kind of whisper it and you don't say anything else about it, right? And we know that, the least of what you should have as a cancer patient is a decent sex life. And it's so hard for everybody, whether you're in treatment or whether you're through treatment. And, at every phase, there's sexual dysfunction that we could talk about for a whole nother show.
That's another show. Call me back for that.
I got you covered on that one. But Christy, tell us, more about that, the exposure and different things, how did you grow and expand your horizons?
Well, it's funny because I was thinking about my choice. So when I saw the passport, again, my insurance is really good, they tell me, right? So when I looked at the passport, I looked at it from the perspective of, what does my insurance not cover?
Not cover.
So my insurance, I don't need 2 people to cover it, right? Correct. So they cover this, they will cover a plethora of the therapy sessions, right? They're definitely not covering my food. They're definitely not covering the sunbasket meals. They're definitely probably not going to cover the grocery shopping. They're certainly not going to send me a gift card to go get the groceries that I should have, right? So for me, when I looked at the passport, I said, if I can get this through my health insurance, then maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try the CSA. Maybe I'll try the sunbasket. And then also for me, when I hear Sue's story, and I think about the love and the compassion of the Unite for Her family, for me, I feel that it's also because she has lived and survived it, that's where the passion and understanding comes from.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. Yeah, that she's a breastie, so she gets what we need and knows what we need.
No, I remember that, Ricky. I thought when I was diagnosed, I didn't realize here I was diving into learning about all these integrative therapies to help me get through. I was 39, little children, and just having hot flashes every hour on the hour, and 6 months of chemotherapy. And now I am so sick. And I didn't realize at the time that the modalities that I was doing, the acupuncture, the yoga, the nutrition that I was diving into, was forming the business plan for Unite for Her, and that's truly what occurred, and a lot of prayer for sure, down on my knees, just wondering if I was going to survive, that year and for my kids. And here it grew into this beautiful wellness program that we started with 23 women when we were raising our money at Paoli Hospital. And that was our first wellness day where I was treated. And now, when you see that we're, treating 1,800 women, 300 of those 1,800 are living with metastatic disease. And we also treat women with ovarian cancer. It's just such a dream come true to be here to say, we can now take this program national, and one step at a time, one hospital at a time, one conference at a time. It is limited, but Ricky, I was grateful that you offered to have us on so we can do some recruiting for this national retreat on the 13th and get our women, especially our women of color that we know need these resources, and that we can bridge those health and equity gaps and be there for them and to lean in there first. And that is our goal.
So what happens? What happens at the conference? What happens at the conference? So people who sign up to go, what happens there?
Yeah, you got it. So, Dr. Mo talked about the education, and I was going to jump in there. So I'm glad you said that. We give the way that we are delivering our program now is not in person because of COVID. And that's the virtual model. We mail our wellness program via her care box, and then they log on to a virtual conference where we have guest speakers, our advisors, that come in and they speak on yoga and meditation, and they educate. Like you said, Dr. Mo, you're doing what you know. I want you to try something you don't know. I want you to try and quiet your mind with the power of just seated yoga.
Yes.
How does that look? I want you to think about sexual health counseling. We do that as well. It is so powerful. We have speaker series every month that our women can come to and engage in on different topics, everything from medical marijuana to sexual health counseling to nutrition, these topics that are really important to our community. And there's experts there that, we have over 170 providers that treat our community. So, we have the means to be able to bring them on and speak on these topics, have you come in and speak, Dr. Mo, about, what is new in the field and some of these questions that you answered right there for Christy, and she wasn't understanding that stage 0 and what that looks like. So, our passport expanded in so many ways differently because we went virtual. We ended up adding some more services like the Sunbasket meal delivery because we knew that was really important to families, especially during COVID when you're feeling compromised and you don't want to go out of the house. But here that conference, that virtual conference that will be on the 13th, that is your education. That is where you learn about all these modalities. Then when you look at that passport, you get to decide, what do I want to use it for? What do I want to use that passport for? And these choices that I have. Then there's another side of the passport that is ongoing and doesn't cost you any of your squares. It's just there for you all the time. Our nutrition team, available all the time. And they are dynamic and clinically trained. Erin, our nutrition manager, she is just pure joy in that kitchen. Pure joy.
She's great, isn't she? Erin, yeah, she's wonderful.
The recipes that go along with the CSAs, like, so me and eggplant, we don't get along, but my body probably should partake in some eggplant, right? So Erin was like, Erin said, if you get something in your box, like bok choy, right? And you have no idea what to do with it, call me.
That goes in noodles.
Yeah.
It goes in everything.
Listen, saute it up with some poison. Make it happen.
Yes. She sent me recipes, she sent me videos, and she's like, I'll tell you what it is if it looks strange because you never had it. And oh my God, I made speaking about, fried chicken and baked macaroni and cheese, which is my favorite as well, but what we deem to be soul food isn't necessarily food for our soul.
Not good for us.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
I made
and there's a time and a place.
Yes, there's a time and place. But when that cauliflower came, I made cauliflower mac and cheese. So I'm like, this is good. My son didn't like it. I had to ease him in. But if
you were making Erin and Michelle so happy right now.
It was amazing. I was taking pictures. I couldn't even believe I made it. I was so proud of me. But beautiful. If I can speak to the recruitment factor of things, right? I just want to say, if I say nothing else today, for us as African American women, we don't talk about it enough, right? We've been taught.
Why do you think that is? Let's dig a little bit deeper there, because this is something that Ricky and I at Touch BCA, we're really digging into this issue of why we don't
talk about it. It's so frustrating.
So from the two of you, I'd love to hear more about why we don't.
For me, right? We've been taught to sweep things under the rug, right? And then on top of that, we've been taught that we have to be strong all the time. So I come from a family where I say we have a family of secrets. if something goes wrong, even health-wise, it's like you may tell the adults, but you don't tell the children. So even for me, when I got my diagnosis, I didn't want to tell my mom. I'm like, I'm gonna wait and tell her. And then I have 5 sisters, but in order to find out and I have a twin sister.
Wow.
So
wow.
I have to find out. I decided to tell everybody, because now at 40 years old, I'm just asking my dad, does cancer run in our family? I'm just asking my mom, does cancer run in our family? Well, we should have been having those conversations a long time ago, because should I not have gone to get my mammogram? And then we don't talk about mammograms. Like nobody said, Christy, at 40, you need to. It was my white male doctor who said, you're 40, go get a mammogram. And I said, no, I'm not. And he said, yes, you are. And if it wasn't for him, my story would be different 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. But we're also taught to just handle it, to smile through it, right? Oh, I have this issue, but I can't let the world know that I have this issue. So if I say nothing else, I say, 1, go and get the mammogram. Oh, they say it hurts. Trust me, nothing hurts like that biopsy I had to get today, right? So I would rather you smush me and I'm okay than to have to go through surgery, than to have to get biopsies. So talk about it. Let each other know that it's okay. It's nothing to be fearful about. Because at the end of the day, when you have a community like Unite for Her, we got you. We're not going to let you fall. And we're not going to let you walk this walk by yourself. This is my purpose. This is my calling. If I didn't know why God decided to give me this pink box, I now know it's because I have a voice. And my voice is to be out there letting everybody else know that, listen, this is my story. But it doesn't necessarily have to be yours. And I need you to take the necessary precautions. And don't be silent. Because if I open my mouth, that can heal you and possibly you. It is my duty to make sure that I say, go get checked. Show up on June 13th, because you got to be in it to win it. And if you don't show up to these kind of programs, you'll miss it. And we don't want you to miss it. And we definitely don't want you to walk this walk by yourself.
No one fights alone. No one fights alone.
Right.
There's so many walks of life that we as Black women, we have to walk by ourselves. But this doesn't have to be one of them.
Wow.
So true.
Couple things you said struck me, because I grew up, my mom died when I was young. I was 7, my sister was 10, she was 29. She died of ovarian cancer. Less than 1% of the population gets ovarian cancer. Very rare, associated with things like hereditary mutations, like the BRCA mutations, right? We didn't talk about it. I didn't find out till I was almost 29. No, till I was 30 when I found out what she died from. When I maybe should have been getting checked and getting genetic testing and starting screening sooner. And when you hear young people, Christy, you're 40 and you got 5 sisters, your whole family should be talking about these things. I have a saying that we're only as sick as the secrets we keep, right? And we have to, we got to demystify these things and start talking about it, because the screening is directly impacted by this. Because what if I told you that some doctors are telling women to start at 45 now? Start at 45 and you hit 55, then you go every other year. And then right. So the worst thing they could have done, the U.S. Preventive Task Force, and I hate to say it, ACS, American Cancer Society, adopted some new guidelines that they are now backtracking on. And I think probably by the end of the year, they will have rescinded these guidelines. But it's got all the doctors screwed up. Because the primary care doctors say, no, now you start at 45, but they're not asking women what their family history is. And they're not saying, oh, no, it matters on mom's side and dad's side. People still believe it doesn't matter what's on your dad's side. Yes, it does. It totally matters. And we've screwed the pooch. And I'm sorry, I'm on my little soapbox here, but we got a real problem, because between COVID and these changing guidelines, people are not getting their screening. And certainly screening is not the end all be all, but guess what? When you catch it early, there's an opportunity that's there. And it's just, absolutely, and so Lakia, I want to hear a little bit from you about, why you think, and if there's anything different to what you think about why we're not having these conversations, and maybe how to start having some of these conversations. Like, let's move beyond the just,
Well,
you don't talk about it, to how do you talk about it?
Can I interrupt you for 1 second? So I just want to just weigh in on, oh, it's gotten loud here. The conversations we are not having are killing us. That's our new line for the week from Lisa Klein, right?
yeah.
So go ahead, Lakia.
Absolutely. So for me, I'm the opposite. My family, we have conversations. I also am the oldest of 5 girls. I have 2 brothers. I have a mom, I have a dad. We talk about, you know, somebody hurts their pinky toe. It's in a group text, right? Everybody needs to know. But for me, when I say metastatic breast cancer, people are like, what is that? We know what breast cancer is. We know what the pink ribbon is. We know what Susan G. Komen Foundation is. We know what that's about, right? That pink ribbon is sexy. To be able to ring that bell that they're a survivor, that is something that is celebrated, and it's a badge of honor. There's some shame. I don't know if it's internal. I don't know if it's just the fact that it is considered to be a long-standing cancer. There is something Black sheepish around saying that you have metastatic breast cancer. So my god sister, she also had metastatic breast cancer. We have no blood relation, but my mom and her mom were best friends in high school. They went to military together, all these things. And I'm like, wait, their firstborn had breast cancer. She lost her battle with breast cancer last year. But before she lost her battle, she monthly reminded me to go check my breasts, get in the mirror, have your husband check them, know your breasts, know when they change. And I have to give thanks to her, to Shantae, for that reminder that I got in June, because in June is when I found my first lump. Now, I will tell you, it took from June until October when I met a Black surgeon that said, Lakia, I believe you, something's not right. I had a breast reduction at 23. So the radiologist that I went to, mammogram, ultrasound, it's scar tissue. My common sense says the scar tissue is up under, it's not on top. No one cut the top of my breast. So for me, I had to fight my battle. I had to advocate. I had to go back and forth and back and forth. Then I had to fight with insurance because they're not going to cover MRI because the radiologist put in a letter saying, wait 6 months. So thank God for my gynecologist, who was a Black gynecologist, Dr. Regina Smith. Thank God for my Black surgeon that she referred me to and said, listen, we're going to have to rework the system because you know your body. I hear you. I trust what you're saying. But it took them to do an in-office. Dr. Renee Quarterman just moved back to Delaware. She opened the breast cancer
That's
center
my
in Delaware.
breastie. I know Renee. Absolutely.
Listen, that woman. So the first meeting, of course, she wants to hear the whole story. And I'm sure it was like, okay, this woman's taking forever to get to the point. Well, the point is there's something in my right breast and no one seems to know what it is. I'm telling you, it is not normal. And she believed me to the point where she was willing to foot the bill for the biopsy if it wasn't cancer. But I thank God every day for Dr. Smith, for Dr. Quarterman, who we're going to send this off. We're going to get you answers because I know it's not sitting right with you. It's messing with you. Let's figure it out. She figured it out. And then that call on October 13th, look here, there's cancer there. I literally was like relieved, but then it was like, shit, there's cancer there. And I have a husband of about 10 years, almost 11 years. I have 2 small children. There's cancer nowhere in my family, but now I have it. But then you go out. Nobody knows what the heck metastatic breast cancer is because we're not talking about it. It's not the cute cancer, right? It's not the one you get the t-shirt for and you go do the walk. It's something we're not talking about because there's no cure. There's no one out there saying we have the magic bullet to cure metastatic breast cancer. No, there's no cure for it. But this is what it looks like. I'm still here. I do my medication. There are good days, there are bad days. There are some days where I'm like, ugh, this is hard. But then you talk to people that are like, look here, you're still here though, right? Like, yeah, you may have been stuck in the bathroom all day yesterday. You may have had what I like to coin chemo belly. I lost my appetite. I lost over 100 pounds. But you know what? The 100 pounds, okay, cancer, you took that. But I look good right now. And so you got to look at
No,
it
that's
positive.
right.
Listen, cancer did a lot of things.
Yeah.
But it can't steal my joy.
I love this conversation because, you know, doctors, even when we give this diagnosis of metastatic breast cancer, you ever see those memes where he's Homer Simpson's fading into the bushes there and you kind of fade away?
Yes.
Right. All your doctors start fading away kind of slowly. And it can be a really challenging thing, especially for surgeons. But when doctors give that diagnosis, a lot of times we feel like patients feel like the support falls off. And so one of the amazing things about Unite for Her is that the support actually ramps up if you're metastatic. It doesn't fall off. It ramps up
with the right things,
Sue, I got some questions for you. We got questions from the chat about this conference and who can participate and who can attend. Can it be caregivers and loved ones and advocates? And, you know, give us the scoop on who's eligible and give us the website.
Gotcha. All right, so the conference is June the 13th. This is a National Metastatic Breast Cancer Conference. We have other programs, but the one that we're talking about today is for this one. So metastatic women, we're looking for 100 women for this event. I'm hoping that Ricky's community can give us, 50. Your community today can give us 50 women that we can get registered. There is a QR code that Ricky had put up there in the chat.
I'm trying to put it in the chat. I'm having trouble, but I'm working on it.
Yeah. So, and you had it in your newsletter as well. If you go to uniteforher.org, it's right there. Go to uniteforher.org, go to the actual programs, and then you'll scroll down and you'll see National Metastatic Conference, and then click there to register, right? So for our women, we really do want it to be about our women. Definitely when we're on Zoom, we do see caregivers going on there and we see people helping out and they sit there and listen. And that is good because then they become a part of that healing treatment. Even our counseling sessions now have taken such an uptick because people are more comfortable doing it in their privacy of their home and popping on their laptop, and their loved ones can be with them. So, so much during COVID that we had to reinvent that was always in person actually, worked better, no worries about transportation, no worries about driving to the conference, no worries about taking off from work for the conference, no worries about childcare. Now they can log on, log off, listen in. So it is for our women. The one on the 13th is for women living with metastatic disease. We will educate you during that day. If you cannot make that 13th, June the 13th, please register. It's okay. We have more conferences. We have 2 conferences a month. So we can get you educated in another session. It's just that this one is all for women living with metastatic disease that are on the national program. Does that make sense? I catch all of them?
Absolutely. I did put the link into the chat. So on the Facebook platform, the link is now there for people to go to the website and register.
I did too. And I think also say the amount of the passport again. That's an amazing gift.
Yeah.
The value of the passport.
The value of the passport is $2,000. Like Lakia said, there's things that are ongoing that like our nutrition consults and our speaker series, and that's once a month, and that's all ongoing, and it doesn't cost you any of your squares. We actually have squares so that we can control our budget. But then there's choices. There's 6 choices on there that you get to pick from, where if you want to use it for counseling, do you want to use it for Reiki or yoga? Do you want to use it for a fitness membership? We actually have Stronger Through Cancer fitness membership that will cover for 6 months, with that passport. So you get to pick how you use those squares. And then in 6 months, if you finish it earlier, then you have to wait because of our budget. And then after that, we can renew it, right? So that's how we control the every 6 months, we will renew. And then again, 6 months, and then again. And that's how we
will tell you
how much money we have to raise. Yeah.
The education that you get though, attending a wellness day is priceless. There's no dollar amount that can be put on what you learn, the community that you are now folded into, the resources that Sue just rolls out the red carpet for. Those type of things are priceless. Now the perks, right? The memberships, the groceries, all those things that those are dollar amount, but the education that I got around being a woman living with this disease, about how to better take care of myself so that I can continue to be a mom, to be a wife, to be able to take care of this one right here who
Hey,
invades all my
preciousness.
Zoom calls.
Just our little model on the fashion show.
Self-care is so important, and it's in cancer can be such an isolating situation, especially in the midst of COVID. But to have an outlet and an inlet, I would say, to resources and community that I can just access on this little box on my screen, but it begins to put the pieces back together to keep me whole. And that to me,
Wow.
2000 is great, but that piece of education, that community that's being built around you,
there it is.
Wow.
It begins to put us back together. Because like I say it all the time, and I'll hush.
Not at all.
It's not just about the diagnosis. It's about the women that are living through it, living with it, thriving and surviving, and sometimes crying and praying. But it's about that, all those pieces. And Sue's crew puts us back together, right? In a way that there's no judgment. It's just a safe space to be raw and real, but also get pieces that put you back together. That part
we
to me.
Continue to keep learning, Lakia and Christy, we learn from our women. We ask them, what are we missing? What do we need to do better? And we're such an open book where we're just, we want to get it right and continue to, expand on the services to make sure we're there for them. You are so right.
But we need Black women to lean into this, right?
We do.
Women of color have to find a better outlet besides holding it in. Because that's where you begin to break down all the medicine in the world if you're not mentally and emotionally prepared for this journey. You have to find an outlet. Sue provides a safe outlet for women of color. And Sue's a white woman, we get it, right? But she's put together a team, and she has an advisory of African-American women that are living through and surviving the facets of cancer that are going to help lead this next endeavor with authentic and reverence, because she finds the people that are living with it and said, help me do this. Not this is how it should be done, but help me do it right. Tell me what to say. Tell me what we need in order to support this community. And I don't see anybody else who's saying, I'm going to purposely put and support African-American women, and then to say women with metastatic cancer. I don't hear anybody else saying that. And she's yelling from the rooftop, come, let me take care of you. Let me provide for you. Let me give you resources that you would not have access to. Let me educate you on things that your doctor may not have. That to me, Sue, is priceless. And I'm a hush before it gets to be more emotional than it needs to be.
No, it needs to be. It needs to be.
Sue is the angel.
But that's why she came to me. She said, I want Black women to understand this and know this. So we so appreciate you for doing that. And
so Sue, where is the
welcome me in.
Where is the community? Where do you gather? Is there a Facebook group? Is there a way for, how does your community stay connected?
So yeah, so thank you for that. So, one way is pick up that darn phone, because we are so accessible. Our community, our nutritionists, our staff, our wellness program staff, like Unite for Her staff is there. We are stable, we are steady. We have virtual hangouts that we do every Wednesday, the first of the month, where our women can just come. Actually, Christy is a poet, and she actually did a beautiful little poem for us this past one. So that's once a month. We have speaker series that are once a month that they can come into. We just got done doing an alumni event that we do twice a year for our women living with metastatic disease, and then our women living with breast cancer and ovarian cancer. We have an Ask the Experts that we're connecting online and just having people speak and ask those questions a lot about COVID. So we've had a couple doctors on to speak about COVID. We've actually leaned into our Latino women and have now a Spanish only wellness day, because we knew that was a gap, and for us to lift our heads up, we're so heads down in the work. It's like, okay, shoot, what did we miss? We're missing. So let's get that advisory board formed. Let's listen to our women of color, figure out how we can do better. And here we are. And the fact that you all listen to us and are there to support us and help us get the goal. And the goal is to make sure that no woman is left behind. No woman's left behind, and that we can get to this community and get them to trust us and know that, you know, there's no strings attached. We're here to serve, and we just got to raise the funds, and we've been doing that, doing it well. Dynamic team, and they're listening, and now we get to put out this program to 100 women in June 13th. So
sounds like an angel to me. Sounds like an angel to me.
I'm so grateful.
And a foot soldier, because she puts in work.
Ricky and Dr. Mo too. You actually have one of our women on, Jamil Rivers, and she's
Jamil.
Wow, what a
Jamil's wow
woman, right? And she's
a powerhouse.
She's a powerhouse, badass.
Powerhouse, yeah. So she was just on our speaker series, and she has created her own nonprofit, Chrysalis, right?
Chrysalis, yeah, she was here a couple of weeks ago talking about Chrysalis. Yeah.
And she's now looking to bridge these gaps and understand, you know, and be that coach for, you know, our women of color that will ask the right questions and what are we missing? And so there's a lot of momentum going to understand how we can all do better. And I just thought she was dynamic, and just I'm grateful to be able to, you know, see her thrive as a woman living with metastatic disease, and this new nonprofit that she's formed. It's positive, you know, and then all of us together, we're all
working together, So Mo, you know, Christy has a gift for us.
Tell us.
She does.
You're on mute. You're on mute, babe. You're on mute.
You're on mute. But Christy's a poet. Yeah, we discovered this during our fashion show that we had, and we were like, "What? Oh my gosh!"
Yes, and poetry for me is a form of therapy. So any chance and any opportunity I get to either write a poem, recite a poem, it has helped me through this entire breast cancer journey. And the poem that I'm going to share tonight is called "When Women Speak." So I mentioned that briefly when we were talking about coming forward, right? It's important that we find our voices and use our voices. So when women speak, Mother Earth awakes, spirits are cast out, mountains begin to move, angels receive wings, butterflies are called from their cocoons. Generational curses are broken. Demons tremble when women speak. Sisters soldier up. Daughters fight to stand up. Queens receive their crowns. Jewels are polished. Glass ceilings are broken. Although her voice may shake as she awakes Lady Liberty, never mistake what she has to say. Despite being constantly interrupted, volcanoes erupt at the elevation of her octave. Though she be small, she be fierce, she be virtuous, she be queen, she be woman, speaking clearly, concisely. When women speak, fools shut up. When women speak, shh, listen without interrupting. There's much to learn. See, for centuries, our voices have been silenced, but we're here speaking up. Can you hear us? Beyond the noise, beyond the confusion, beyond the man-splaining, can you hear us? We ain't asking, just checking if you're listening when women speak. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Oh,
amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
Chills. Oh my goodness, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's our Amanda Gorman. She's our very own Amanda Gorman.
I know.
Thank you.
Wow.
It's an honor and a privilege. Thank you so much.
That was so beautiful.
Oh,
I feel like a badass speaking now, right?
Absolutely.
Speak up, woman. Speak up, woman.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how can people find you and hear more of your poetry?
My name on Instagram as well as Facebook is Paradise Christy. My business, where you see behind me, somewhere back here, The Art of Paradise. That's my website. And I do a monthly poetry reading on every fourth Saturday at 4:44 p.m., where we actually do poetry. So you can find me there. You can check out the website, or you can find me on either Facebook or Instagram. So thank you.
We'll post your flyer whenever. Send it to me and we'll post it for your Saturday event.
Will.
Dr. Mel, could you imagine if we opened up our wellness day with this beautiful poem? You know how you did opening remarks?
Oh, that'd be incredible. Absolutely. I think you should. Yeah.
Oh, totally. Now that we're virtual, I'm like, Christy, come over.
No problem.
A conference with it. Yep.
So lovely. So awesome. Wow. So awesome.
Yeah. Wow. So Sue, give us some inspiration as we wrap up. Tell us how we can reach you. Lakia, we're going to invite you to tell us how folks can reach you if you would like to be reached, through social media. You don't have to give us your phone number or anything. Some people do. But no. If you have social media you want to be followed on, if there are websites that you have, we'll start with you. And then Sue, we're going to let you get the last word.
It's all good.
So, I'm a normal person. I'm a mommy. I don't have anything flashy. But if you want to read, if you want to connect, if you want to talk because you're going through this journey and you want someone who's going to be honest with you, or who's going to laugh with you, because some of my girlfriends say my side effect commentary is hilarious, but you got to laugh through it or you're not going to make it. I'm Queen Belchie on Instagram. Lakia Belcher on Facebook. Like I said, I'm a regular God-fearing woman who likes to laugh, loves her family, and who is continuing to thrive with metastatic breast cancer.
Got that right.
You rock, girl. You are badass. You're a badass.
So good. Christy?
Wow.
I guess Christy already went, right?
Yeah.
On you, Sue. Right. How can we find you?
Well, find our magical team. Didn't you say you were magical when you came on?
Indeed.
Unicorn.
Yep. Our staff is all available at uniteforher.org. And then, of course, we are looking to recruit women with metastatic disease for our June 13th conference, really leaning into our women of color. We have a Latina Spanish-speaking only wellness day as well. And you can find all that right on the website. So when you go under programs, you just drop down, you'll see the National Metastatic event, you'll see the Latina event, you'll see all of our programming, and we will direct you. We'll direct you right to either Gail Kelly or Nina Ritrovato, who are our wellness program managing team, and they will let you know how you can get, involved in the Unite for Her program. So beautiful. Easy enough. I know we I don't know if you got the flyer up, but there's an easy QR code there. Put your phone right up there. We can get you registered. And I'm so grateful to the both of you, all four of you, for just allowing us to share our story and just move this mission forward one woman at a time, and we'll continue to do the work.
Great.
We are grateful for you.
Yeah,
go ahead, Ricky. Sorry.
The flyer's up on our Facebook page at Touch BBCA on Facebook. The flyer's there for the QR code. And we are so grateful for you and all that you do to help patients. And love you, my breastie.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. We love you
too. The link is in the comments for the conference, specifically to take you right to that conference page, and you all can share and replay this video. Anybody who's watching, we've had some questions in the comments about how do we get this information out. All you do is hit the share button, click share, and other people can watch it.
Share again.
Take the link, copy it, and utilize this information. Sue, my patients love you and they thank you, and you have brought our community together and connected many of us through their breast cancer journey and through the resources that you've provided just personally. So I thank you for what you've done for my patients and my community, but even larger than that, for answering the call to do this really holy work and expand it throughout the country, because it is sorely needed. So
It really is. It's great.
Dr. Mel, I can't help but remember, you actually helped us at one of our fundraisers down at the Pink Invitational. You answered the call. You were a busy woman. And talk about answering the call. We asked you to talk to our young athletes that raise all these funds for us. And
it was so much fun.
You were so good. You were just right there on their level, and tell them what it means to raise these funds for your patients. And I just love that you are so accessible to us, because, we do a lot of our fundraising here locally, and we're grateful for that. It means a lot when those kids can see where their money goes, Yeah.
Always here for you. And for people watching, we're always here for you. You know, every Wednesday night for over a year now, you know, Ricky and I have been doing this show, and we've been so thankful and so blessed to be able to come into your homes and into your lives and bring you some information that we hope's been relatable. We hope it's been reliable. We hope it's been real. And that's what we set out to do every week. So the doctor is in. And we want to thank our sponsors. We're going to see you all next Wednesday night, 6 p.m. We will be right here on blackdoctor.org, bringing you some more realness and talking to our breasties.
Yeah, and I'm here with my grandchildren because it's my
they're so beautiful.
stepdad's 90th birthday party. So that's been all the distractions around me. So I apologize for that.
No, it's beautiful.
Life.
So good.
Hi.
Beautiful family. All right, we're going to give some breasty love and sign off. So here it is.
The doctor's
That
in.
breasty love.
You guys take
Peace
care.
and blessings, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be blessed.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Be blessed. Say bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, we do breasty.